Bear Warehouse. I'm Margaret.
I'm John.
And this is our house.
It's not a warehouse. It's a misnomer.
Or it turns into it's a warehouse where it like sometimes it's a wolf and sometimes it's a house.
True. I do think where is the Old English word for human or man. So
we're living in some guy.
Yeah.
And this is his brain.
Whoa.
It's on the books. And this is a gallbladder stone.
Got a lump in the wrong place?
I'll be a lung.
What am I?
The other lung.
Oh, wow. Because we're filled with hot air. Okay, so the important news this time around is I've really been trying to figure out what my favorite books are. So, like, if I asked you, Margaret, what are your favorite books?
My favorite books are all part of series, and I can't explain them to you, and I don't remember their names.
Oh, wow. But if I were to ask you what your favorite books are, you could potentially give 10 of them?
Yeah,
10
probably.
series at the very least?
I could say some right now, like Last House on Needless Street, Attorney Award, Bury Your Gaze, Chuck Tingle. Obviously, I like the Blood Mercy series.
Yeah. Me, I can't do that. And I'm pretty jealous of people that can. So I've come up with a solution, a foolproof solution, to determine what my favorite books are.
Is it thinking about it?
No, it's absolutely not.
Is it following
considering
your heart?
It's not following my heart. It's better than both of those things. A more foundational aspect of being human and of society.
Okay.
And it's sports.
Wow.
Taking inspiration from our favorite basketball tournament, I've organized my 4 and 5 starred reads from Goodreads into a bracket. I'm going to make them compete against one another. Now, you're like, okay, it seems like there's a good amount of organization here. That means you don't know how my Goodreads has been populated. Since 2022, it's been populated in a pretty normal way. I've read books, finished them.
Read a book, finish it, put a rating up there.
But prior to that, it seems like I logged in once around 2015 and just entered books that I was thinking about at the time.
You know who I realized also did that?
Who?
Luigi Mangione.
Pop off. Me and Luigi, we're the same.
I think he has a Dr. Seuss book on his Goodreads, which is the same as you having Where the Sidewalk Ends on your Goodreads.
Yeah, basically
it's like,
the same.
I'm just thinking of books. I'm just thinking of
Yeah, so anything from before 2022 was just randomly entered one day in the year 2015.
Just thought of a book, decided to put a star value on it.
Yeah, so pretty chaotic. The actual books that have made it into my Goodreads are in no way representative of all of the books I've read. It's not comprehensive. And most of the books I entered in 2015 were books I read in middle school, high school, things that I really don't have a frame of reference for anymore. So we're going to see how this goes. To inject a little bit more chaos into this, to determine the seeding, I just took the average Goodreads rating. So I have a lot in common with the average Goodreads reader, you know? I think in general, Litfic is really popular there. They love classics.
This is sarcasm.
Yeah,
Mrs. Dalloway has a 3.8.
I think it's like a 3.6.
Jeez.
It's pretty low. A lot of chaos going on here. So we're going to solve this the only way we know how. Sports. Oh, Margaret, will you join me in going through this bracket? I might need to call on you to be a tiebreaker in various settings.
How are you choosing a winner? Listening to your heart? Do I hear listening to your heart?
Yeah, I think it'll be some combination of heart, just gut instinct,
Nice.
right? We're going purely on animal attraction to these books.
And basketball.
And basketball. Words of Radiance, 1,000 Rooms of Dream and Fear. I think it's got to be 1,000 Rooms of Dream and Fear. Agony and the Ecstasy. Death in Le Jardin.
Death in Le Jardin.
Death in Le Jardin. Pop off, Ian Moore.
We can say it at the same time.
I've already done it.
For the next one.
Oh, okay. For the next one. Okay, so I Who Have Never Known Men or Wuthering Heights. 3, 2, 1. I Who Have Never Known Men. Wow. One brain cell.
Wow. Between the two of us.
The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I'll greet the sun again. Perks of Being a Wallflower. Oh, I need to do the countdown.
With you.
Okay, Mongrel, Death in Spring. 3, 2, 1. Death in Spring. Wow. Okay, The Martian Chronicles or Their Eyes Were Watching God. 3, 2, 1. Their Eyes Were Watching God. I'm from Florida. It's got to be Their Eyes Were Watching
Love
God.
Zora.
Yeah.
Did you know there was an actor who played Zora Neale Hurston one time at a school field trip, and I was like, "How old are you?" And she was like, "Over 100," and I was
Whoa.
like, "You're not."
She must have looked great for her
I
age.
didn't know that she was an actor. I thought she really was Zora Neale Hurston. She had a boa.
The Handmaid's Tale, Catch-22. 3, 2, 1. Handmaid's Tale. It was a joke. It's Catch-22.
The betrayal.
We've got to keep some suspense in here.
Ugh.
What?
Our marriage will never go stale.
True. Hunger Games or Ulysses? I know they're functionally the same book, but I think I'm going to give the slight edge to Hunger Games.
Fine. I volunteer as tribute, etc.
Okay. Order of the Phoenix or Grendel? Grendel has a very detailed description of a goat's ball sack, and that's what I need more of in my life, so.
1, 2, 3.
Grendel. And why are we choosing it?
Testicle.
Goat ball sack.
Ball sacks.
Yeah.
Is there a word for ball sack that's like scientific?
Scrotum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Speaker for the Dead, General for the Dead, or General of the Dead Army. Sorry. 3, 2, 1. Speaker for the Dead. Okay, Babel or The Great Gatsby? 3, 2, 1. Babel.
Great Gatsby.
Incorrect. Incorrect.
You're incorrect.
Cabinet of Curiosities or The Book of Chameleons? It's Cabinet of Curiosities. Dune, Notes of a Crocodile. Dune. Wow. Yeah, nice. Brave New World, 1Q84. It's gotta be Brave New World. Sports are really good. This is really efficient and it's going very quickly. 100 Years of Solitude, The Great Reclamation. Basically the same book, just, written by different people, different cultures, different time periods. But, magical realism, colonialism. But I think you got to give it to the OG. 100 Years of Solitude. Cosmos, As I Lay Dying. As I Lay Dying. Wow. You got a pretty good hit rate on this. It's, could you have predicted what my favorite books are?
Yes, because I live in your heart.
Oh, then why when I ask what my top 10 books are you like, oh, I don't know.
I can name like 3 of them.
Yeah, me too. Sports can name all of them. Okay. 1,000 Rooms of Dream and Fear, Death in the... We're going to go with Death in the Jardin here. I Have Never Known Men, Perks of Being a Wallflower. Which one did I enjoy the trauma from more? I'm going to go with Perks of Being a Wallflower. The thing with the guy at the end, crazy. Death in Spring, Their Eyes Were Watching God. Sorry, Florida, it's Death in Spring. Catch-22, Hunger Games. 3, 2, 1. Catch-22. Wow. Grendel, Speaker for the Dead. I think we got to get rid of the goat scrotum. It's Speaker for the Dead.
The greatest scrotum of all time.
Mm-hmm. Babel or Cabinet of Curiosities? 3, 2, 1. Cabinet
Babel.
of Curiosities. Wow, you're bad at this. Dune, Brave New World.
She's trying to get
It's gotta be Dune.
And she's slipping off. And she's
Biting you in anger? Rip.
Wait, it's Dune.
I already said Dune.
Dune. Fear's the mind killer. The blue glowing juice for girls.
Oh.
That's why I love blue Gatorade. I'm Bene Gesserit.
True. 100 Years of Solitude or As I Lay Dying? I think it's As I Lay Dying.
As I Lay Dying
I think it's As I Lay Dying.
Did you ever listen to the band?
Yeah, I did listen to As I Lay Dying a lot. Actually, I pre-ordered one of their albums and listened to it on a flight out here to Austin.
Really?
It was one of the first thing, like, I don't know, it's like burned into my memory, getting it on my iPod and listening to the whole album on the way out here.
You know what? If you're looking to download on iTunes emo albums and it starts with A, you're gonna get As I Lay Dying. It starts with A.
Death in the Jardin or Perks? I think it's Perks.
That's crazy to me.
I mean, I
didn't read that book though.
That's embarrassing.
But I'm gonna read it now. I'm 33.
Yeah, I haven't read it since high school, so it may not hold up. Death in Spring, Catch-22. I think it's got to be Catch-22. Ooh, Cabinet of Curiosities or Speaker for the Dead. 3, 2, 1. Speaker for the Dead. Wow. You're back on track. Dune or As I Lay Dying. I think it's got to be As I Lay Dying. It's Catch-22. Speaker for the Dead or As I Lay Dying? It's As I Lay Dying.
As I Lay Dying.
Yeah. Catch-22 or As I Lay Dying. And it's Catch-22. You know, I just really don't like A Song of Ice and Fire anymore, so.
Rip.
Yeah.
But The Scarlet Letter is easy A, and we read it in high school and felt really smart about it.
Yeah, it does make you feel smart when the teacher's like, did you notice this blatantly obvious symbol? And you're like, yeah, am I a literal genius? So,
Yeah.
I'm going with The Scarlet Letter. Nervous Conditions, Slaughterhouse-Five.
You're going to go with Slaughterhouse-Five, even though you love Nervous Conditions, which you read
True.
recently. Slaughterhouse-Five was from
Yeah.
2015. 10 years ago!
Well, I mean, I read it in high school, so.
Longer.
Yeah, 20 years ago, probably. Close to. 1984, Will and Testament. It's got to be Will and Testament.
Well, all right.
Martyr, Lucy. Let's go with Martyr. Yeah, Lucy is very good, though. My Friends Are Annihilation. This one's tough. Annihilation is probably my favorite cosmic horror of all time.
Interesting. So now it's annihilated in the first round.
Yeah, that's tough. But who are we to argue with sports and Goodreads? Blood Meridian or Beloved? I don't think it's particularly close. It's Beloved. Remains of the Day. All I remember about this book is a butler. He was a butler. And I read this book, I think 2 years ago, and I've completely deleted it from my brain. So, the summer book is vibes, and I love it. And it's going through. Summer book. Where the Sidewalk Ends or Blackouts. I'm gonna go with Where the Sidewalk Ends. I read it as a bedtime story to myself every night when I visited my grandparents as a child.
Why is that sad?
No, like, you know how you read stuff until you get tired?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it wasn't like I was like, could you read me a bedtime story? And they were like, literally no.
And then you just read it to yourself in your own grandma's voice. I can't laugh, she'll get mad.
Okay, Project Hail Mary or Twilight? I mean, I really liked Project Hail Mary, but Twilight it's iconic.
You gotta give it that.
The Door or Burial Rites? Honestly, kind of similar vibes. I just loved Burial Rites.
You loved The Door, too.
I did love The Door. But who are we to say that sports and seating determined by the imminent good read audience are incorrect? Yeah. Whomst among us can say that they're incorrect? Assassin's Apprentice, The Bee Sting. Bee Sting. To Kill a Mockingbird or Whalefall. What are you thinking here?
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, it's the GOAT of middle school / maybe 9th grade reads. Nice YA fiction. Haven't read it in at least 20 years, so who knows how I actually feel about it?
I still like it.
I think probably. To Kill a Mockingbird's through. The House of the Spirits or Mrs. Dalloway?
It's Mrs. Dalloway.
It's Mrs. Dalloway. It's Mrs. Dalloway. Intermezzo or War and Peace? Intermezzo, one of the best books I read last year.
Intermezzo.
I do.
War and Peace.
Yeah, and War and Peace convinced me to learn a foreign language. And it's not Russian.
But French.
But French. I went full Russian aristocrat and learned French instead of Russian.
You know the Catherine the Great TV show is actually incredible, I would say.
Wow.
It's like
I didn't know that existed.
It's very funny. It's Elle Fanning and that one guy. It's very funny.
Yeah. And me learning French is how we met. So
Cringe.
basically, you owe our relationship to Leo Tolstoy.
Yeah.
What do you think I should pick?
War and Peace.
Yeah, it's War and Peace. The Fault in Our Stars or The Plague? It's gonna be The Plague.
You love the play. You love Albert Camus.
Yeah. Albert Camus.
Oh, right. Duh.
Okay.
We learned French.
Man Called Ove, Lincoln in the Bardo. Lincoln in the Bardo. I don't think it's particularly close. Slaughterhouse-Five. My condolences. Scarlet Letter. Martyr, Will and Testament.
Martyr.
It's Will and Testament.
Will and Testament.
It's Will and Testament.
I knew it.
Yep, it's Will and Testament. Beloved or My Friends. You should be able to get this one.
Beloved.
Beloved. It's the eminent Toni Morrison and my favorite book from her. These are very similar vibes. Relaxing, summer. I went to my grandparents in the summers when I was reading Where the Sidewalk Ends. Grandparents. But one of them reminds me of my grandmother instead of just a random Finnish grandmother. So I'm going with Where the Sidewalk Ends.
Pricey.
Yeah. All right. Twilight, Burial Rites. What do you think I'm choosing?
Burial Rites.
Yeah, Burial Rites. I'm sorry, Twilight. You deserved better, but who are we to argue with the seating generated by the beautiful minds rating on Goodreads?
This is actually accurate.
Mm-hmm. It's 100% foolproof. Bee Sting, To Kill a Mockingbird.
I think you're gonna choose the Bee Sting.
I am gonna choose the Bee Sting. I really loved it. Mrs. Dalloway or War and Peace?
Mrs. Dalloway.
It's Mrs. Dalloway. Our relationship only made it to the second round. Sorry. The Plague or Lincoln in the Bardo? I think...
Lincoln in the Bardo. It's more fun.
Yeah, it's more fun. It's more fun.
Well, for you.
For me.
I love learning about plagues.
Oh yeah, it was the first book that ever made me think maybe people wouldn't be great in a pandemic. I guess it's only an epidemic. It's only the city of Oman and the plague, but oof. Slaughterhouse-Five or Will and Testament? I might need a tiebreaker here.
Will and Testament?
Yeah, I think that's the right call. Sorry, Where the Sidewalk Ends, but it's got to be Beloved. Burial Rites of the Bee Sting?
Burial Rites.
Yeah, I think it's Burial Rites. Sorry, Lincoln in the Bardo. Mrs. Dalloway's through. It's Mrs. Dalloway. Will and Testament or Beloved? This is no insult to Will and Testament, but it's Beloved.
Will and Testament won like 14 times. How could it be insulted?
Oh, well, because it could have made it farther if it wasn't... Well, I guess it couldn't have. It's not better than any of these books either, so... Mrs. Dalloway. Sorry, Burial Rites. Mrs. Dalloway or Beloved?
Mrs. Dalloway.
Yeah, Mrs. Dalloway.
For real.
Mrs. Dalloway or Catch-22?
It's Mrs. Dalloway.
It's Mrs. Dalloway.
It's Mrs. Dalloway. Got it.
All right, so now using the power of sports, we've determined my favorite books.
Okay, so here's the thing, Joan.
What?
We already knew your favorite books were Catch-22 and Mrs. Dalloway.
Okay.
And I probably could have guessed that War and Peace was up there.
Okay.
But as far as the rest of the rankings go, I mean, this is insane. You've got like 1984, which I'm not sure you really like at all. Like, got out in the first round, but so did... There's a yellow one you really... Intermezzo!
Intermezzo.
And so did Intermezzo. So, like... This...
Are you saying sports isn't ideal?
I'm saying there might be a better way of ranking your favorite books.
Okay, so we've ruled out heart, we've ruled out mind, and we've ruled out sports.
And you're not writing anything down on a piece of
Absolutely
paper.
not.
Not happening. Noodle just bit me very gently.
Okay, so what are you suggesting?
Anything else?
Anything else? Okay, I've got ideas, and we'll be back soon with those ideas. All right, so given your circumspect reaction to the brilliance of sports, I took it under advisement that maybe there were some flaws in the previous methodology.
Okay.
So I started thinking, how can we actually rank these books in a way that's useful, in a way that I could say, choose a top 10. And so I was like, well, how do you compare a bunch of elements in an array? And I was like, that sounds a lot like a sorting problem. And I remembered that optimizing sorting algorithms, big part of an algorithms course. The issue is, I never took an algorithms course. And I'm incapable of using Google.
So you're just raw dogging Microsoft Excel?
Yeah, so we've gone from science to the actual most efficient way we can determine anything, and that is office drudgery.
Yes, the center of the human soul. Microsoft Office Suite.
Microsoft Office Suite, praise be. So I've set up a barely functional worksheet in Excel where I have assigned random numbers to all 64 books.
You couldn't have thought of any of these numbers?
No, I can't think.
Okay.
That would be using my mind, and we ruled that out in the first step.
We ruled out.
Okay, so I assigned random numbers, and then I ranked those to give them seatings, and then I proceeded to do the same thing we did in the first video 9 more times. Now, you might ask, is 10 total brackets a big enough sample size to actually be able to determine what your favorite books are?
Measuring what?
Measuring their average place of finish. So if they're in the first round, they get a point. If they make it to the second round, they get 2 points. Third round, 3 points. And then overall 10 rounds, we're going to sum them up and then see what got the highest point total, ranked all the way down to what got the lowest point total.
Okay.
And we'll see definitively, based on a sample size of 10, which is not enough, what my favorite books are and the order in which I enjoy them. Okay? So,
what does computer say?
What does computer say? I don't know. We're about to find out.
Okay.
So here, we're in the beautiful Microsoft Office. You can see the outcome of prior rounds. You can see we have 10 rounds, which, as I said, not enough. Why didn't I do more? Lazy.
That also sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it would have taken a lot of time. So we are going to order these and see definitively, live on camera, what my favorite books are according to this incredibly foolproof analysis. Can I figure out how to order these?
I don't know.
I don't use Excel on a Mac very often.
It's not color-coded, so I don't know what's happening.
View, review. We're going to have to cut all of this. Here it is. I found it. Filter. Descending order. Dun, dun, dun.
So your least favorite book is?
Well, it's in descending order. So to see my least favorite.
Wait.
Okay, hold on, Margaret. Let me handle it. We're starting from my favorite book, which, as a surprise to everyone, is Mrs. Dalloway.
No way! This is such a huge upset from what we already knew, what I knew before the video started, and what we learned in the video beforehand.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Hold on, and I'll put numbers next to these to make it
two cats at once.
easy.
I'm just holding Wednesday's paw.
Okay, and calculate is not on, so we're going to calculate this sheet and get these in order. Okay, so second place is Catch-22.
Mm-hmm.
Never could have predicted that one either, so we're really learning stuff here. Third place,
Haven't learned anything yet.
100 Years of Solitude.
What? More Than War and Peace? You like that book more than War and Peace?
According to the data, yes.
What? Do you like it more than War and Peace?
Are you disputing the methodology? The science, the perfect science of brackets, sports, Goodreads, Excel, has determined beyond a shadow of a doubt that my favorite book is 100 Years of Solitude, regardless of what I think.
Your third favorite book.
Yeah.
Is it true?
No.
Okay, what's fourth? We're
War and Peace.
immediately off.
War and Peace.
Okay.
I would say that War and Peace, to me, is better than 100 Years of Solitude. So maybe we're only slightly off. Maybe it's
Okay.
just one that's incorrect. Next, we've got As I Lay Dying.
Okay.
Do I like As I Lay Dying less than War and Peace? No.
You like it more than War and Peace. So that's your third favorite book.
No, my third favorite book is 100 Years of Solitude. The list is right here. It says my third favorite. Okay. So after As I Lay Dying is Beloved.
You like Beloved more than that.
I do. Before this, I would have said I liked Beloved more than As I Lay Dying. But with the power of science and sports, I've determined that, in fact, I like As I Lay Dying more than Beloved.
Okay, so this list has been wrong, what, 3 times already? 4 times already?
No, this list has been right. I was wrong 3 times already. The list is correct.
Okay, what do we got?
All right, next is The Door.
You love The Door.
I do. You may have seen that the number 9 book here, Burial Rites, lost in a head-to-head to The Door in the first one we recorded.
Yeah.
So it is strange to me seeing it being ranked lower than The Door, since I once considered it better than The Door. But the list says I like The Door more than
I don't
Burial
understand
Rites.
how any of this math happened.
Wait.
If I were grading this, I would not grade it highly.
Are you saying that this didn't work?
Yes.
So are you saying that after all of this effort, I still don't know what my 10 favorite books are?
I am saying that.
And so now you know what my 10 favorite books are.
No, we don't.
Oh.
We literally don't! Oh! She has one tooth out, like this.
And that's half of her teeth.
Only got 2 teeth.